January is often considered to be like a dumping ground for horror movies. Just whatever trash that studios don't really have a lot of confidence in, they just toss it into January. You know, it's at the end of Oscars season. Nobody really cares what comes out in January. Everyone's just catching up on all the Best Picture nominees. But we seem to be breaking that curse this year with some really creative and unique horror films like Presence last week, and now Companion, directed by Hancock. And I gotta say right off the bat, wow, this film is just really wild and unpredictable. I think the marketing gives way too much away. Like, even the poster gives away too much, which is an odd thing to say. But at the same time, this is a very difficult film to like market or even talk about without giving away like the major twist and the big reveal. Similar to Abigail from last year, where, you know, the marketing was all about the big twist when it really shouldn't have been. But whatever. Regardless, that doesn't take away from the fact that this movie is really, really solid. Now, even though the trailer and all the marketing give away a lot, I'm still going to avoid talking about the big reveal, just out of respect. I still want someone out there to go into this movie completely blind and have a great time with it. Even if that's just one person that doesn't know the twist, I don't want to ruin it for them. So I'm gonna keep it respectful. So this film is about a girl named Iris who meets a guy named Josh, and the two of them fall in love. The two of them go to hang with their billionaire friend in his small cabin in the woods, which in reality is a big mansion. But things soon take a dark and twisted turn. Now, even that plot synopsis that I just gave is technically correct, but doesn't even scratch the surface of the story itself. And you might be saying, this doesn't sound like a horror film. And in many ways, it's not, but in a lot of ways it is. It does turn into horror. And it does have a lot of horror influence. This was produced by Zach Krieger, who was the director of Barbarian, which is one of the most, you know, creative and unique horror films I've seen in the past few years. And it does definitely have that same style, and it does have that same feeling that Barbarian gave me, where there is a big twist like 30 minutes in that does change the way that you viewed everything that came before, and it just sticks with you for the rest of the rest of the runtime. And much like Barbarian, this is a film with something to say. Like, the twist isn't just, oh, that's shocking. It's a twist with a deeper meaning behind it. And it is, like I said, it's a very unpredictable film with lots of twists and turns. You know, I had no clue where the story was going at certain points, even though I knew what the big reveal was. It was just still so exciting to watch things unfold and see new things that I just, you know, didn't see coming at all. And also the script for this is just so incredibly smart. There's so many wonderful setups and payoffs, and like every single line and small detail is just crucial. When some big payoff happens, it feels like the film is rewarding you for paying attention to what was going on. You know, in many ways it reminded me of like how a well-crafted detective film can do something like that. That being said, I do think that this film dropped the ball a bit in the ending. There's something that happens entirely off screen that I feel like we should have seen, especially since it is a main part of Iris's arc as a character. I think it should have been shown on screen. But besides that, I think the writing is just really, really solid. It's a film that is very dark at times, but it's still fun and isn't afraid to crack the occasional joke from time to time.
She's tied up inside, so she's not going anywhere. Eli, Iris, shh, baby, you're on the phone.
I think it's a film that's very accessible for a mainstream audience, even for people that aren't necessarily horror fans. But you know, for the horror people, it's still incredibly bloody, and there's some really, really great effects in here. It's not super gory, but there is some gnarly effects, especially later on in the film. But like I said, it's also a film that does have something to say. It's a film about abusive partners and the way people in relationships can control the people that they're with, or just how people use each other for their own personal gain. You know, but the best part of this film for me was the performances. Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid are both doing really, really impressive work here. Sophie Thatcher, obviously she's playing Iris. Jack Quaid is playing Josh. Thatcher has to really show her acting range here. Her lines may seem a little bit stilted and like flat at first, but it all starts to make sense as the film goes on. Again, going back to the themes here, yeah, I guess that does make sense why her lines would seem that way. She can also be just incredibly creepy at times, especially when she's like in frame but out of focus. She does have like a ghost like quality to her. And I don't mean that just because she's pale. But it's just, it does have this like eerie atmosphere that kind of just carries over for the entire film. And of course that like ghost like eerie vibe that I got from her is in combination with just the incredible costume design and visuals here. I should also say that most of the cast feel like they're doing eccentric performances, like very big theatrical type of acting, ones that just don't seem very, very grounded. The one outlier is Jack Quaid as Josh. On the surface, it might seem like he's also doing a heightened performance, but in reality, it's incredibly grounded, and that's kind of what makes him as a character so terrifying. He's someone that's incredibly abusive, and he does have this slimy quality to him, to the point where every scene he's in is him trying to control someone else or have others do what he wants. To people who don't know anyone like Josh in real life, this character might seem exaggerated, but in reality, it's not exaggerated at all. Overall, I thought this film was a really fun time. It's a big crowd-pleasing thriller horror that does have something to say. Horror as a genre is just something that always has some deeper meaning about society or the world we live in, and to think otherwise is just plain ignorance. I do think that people would really, really enjoy this. I'm giving this 4 stars out of 5. 3.5, 4? It's in that range, 3.5 to 4. I'm just gonna round up for right now. Maybe it go down, maybe it will go up. Who knows? But I had a great time with this, and I think you will too. Also, I'm doing numbers now for right now. I don't know if I'm gonna continue doing that because I feel weird giving numbers. You know, I kind of like just being like, I liked it and I didn't like it. I kind of prefer that vibe, but who knows? Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it, but we'll see. But what did you guys think of Companion? Did you guys watch it? Have you guys heard about the big twist? Don't spoil the big twist in the comments. If you do, put a spoiler warning and put 700 spaces before your comment so that no one can accidentally read it, you jackass. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Why did I say it like that? Long live cinema, everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye.